Roadhouse 1989, the cult action classic starring Patrick Swayze. Sam Elliott and an unforgettable cast left a lasting mark on cinema history and pop culture. From the wild, chaotic nights at the Double Deuce to the ultimate showdown against Brad Wesley's Reign of Terror, every character carved out a place in movie history. More than 3 decades later, fans still remember the grit, the fights, and the charm that made the film a legend. But where are the stars now who went on to long Hollywood careers, who took different paths, and who has sadly left us? Join us as we revisit the Roadhouse cast then and now, and uncover the incredible stories behind the faces we'll never forget. Red West portrayed Red Webster in Roadhouse 1989 at the age of 53. Red is the amiable auto parts store owner who becomes one of the most sympathetic victims of Brad Wesley's Reign of Terror. His shop is firebombed by Wesley's men, a shocking act that devastates him financially and emotionally, while showing the true depths of Wesley's cruelty. Red's resilience and dignity give Dalton a powerful motivation as he embodies the ordinary, hard-working citizens of Jasper, who simply want to live peacefully. His friendship with Dalton and his unshakable moral core highlight what is worth fighting for in the town's struggle against corruption. Beyond the film, Red West had a fascinating career as both an actor and a musician. A lifelong friend of Elvis Presley, he was part of the singer's famed Memphis Mafia, writing several songs and later transitioning to a career in acting. He appeared in films such as Glory Road, 2006, Walk the Line, 2005, and Goodbye Solo, 2008, often portraying rugged, down-to-earth characters. West was married to Pat Boyd for more than 5 decades, a union marked by devotion and stability. On July 18, 2017, Red West died suddenly from an aortic aneurysm at the age of 81, a sudden rupture of the body's main artery that proved fatal, ending the life of a man who had been both a loyal friend and a versatile entertainer. Patrick Swayze portrayed James Dalton in Roadhouse 1989 at the age of 36. Dalton is a renowned cooler bouncer who relies on disciplined philosophy and calm authority rather than raw aggression. His strength lies in his ability to control volatile situations, though beneath his composed surface is a man burdened by a violent past. Dalton becomes the moral center of the story, opposing local tyrant Brad Wesley and struggling between his ideals of peace and the unavoidable pull of violence. His romance with Dr. Elizabeth Clay reveals his vulnerable side, while the murder of his mentor, Wade Garrett, pushes him into righteous fury. The climactic confrontation sees Dalton execute Wesley, liberating the town from his oppression and finally restoring order. Beyond the role, Patrick Swayze became one of the most iconic stars of his generation, beloved for films such as Dirty Dancing 1987 and Ghost 1990. He earned Golden Globe nominations and was admired for his mix of masculinity, sensitivity, and physical grace. Married to Lisa Nemi from 1975 until his passing, their lifelong bond was often highlighted in Hollywood. Swayze tragically died of pancreatic cancer on September 14, 2009, at the age of 57, leaving behind a legacy as a romantic hero and action star whose influence still endures. Marshall R. Teague portrayed Jimmy in Roadhouse 1989 at the age of 36. Jimmy is Brad Wesley's most dangerous henchman, a sadistic fighter whose brutality pushes Dalton to his limits. He is cunning, vicious, and loyal to Wesley, reveling in violence and intimidation. Jimmy's infamous lakeside fight with Dalton is one of the film's most iconic moments, ending when Dalton kills him in self-defense by ripping out his throat, a shocking act that underscores Dalton's inner conflict between control and unleashing lethal force. Off-screen, Marshall Teague built a long and diverse career as both a film and television actor, often cast as villains or men of authority. He appeared in Armageddon 1998, The Rock 1996, and in series like Walker, Texas Ranger, where his martial arts training enhanced his fight scenes. Teague is also a Navy veteran, bringing authenticity and discipline to his roles. Outside of acting, he has remained active in veteran support causes and continues to embrace fan culture around Roadhouse. As of 2025, Marshall R. Teague is 72 years old. Kelly Lynch portrayed Dr. Elizabeth Clay in Roadhouse 1989 when she was 30 years old. Elizabeth, or Doc, is the town's intelligent and compassionate physician, caught between her duty to care for others and her entanglement in the violence that engulfs Jasper. Her romance with Dalton provides an emotional counterbalance to the brutality around them, showing his softer side and grounding the story in a human connection. Doc is resilient, outspoken, and unwilling to be intimidated by Wesley's power, even though she once had ties to him. Her rejection of Wesley's control symbolizes the town's fight for independence, and her bond with Dalton demonstrates the healing potential of love amid chaos. Outside the film, Kelly Lynch built a versatile career with roles in Drugstore Cowboy 1989, which earned her Independent Spirit Award recognition, Cocktail 1988, and later projects like Charlie's Angels 2000. She has also appeared on television in shows such as The L Word and Mr. Mercedes. Lynch has been married to producer and screenwriter Mitch Glazer since 1992, and they share a blended family with Glazer's daughter. Known for her elegance and strength on screen, Lynch continues to work steadily in both film and television. As of 2025, Kelly Lynch is 66 years old. Ben Gazzara portrayed Brad Wesley in Roadhouse 1989 at the age of 58. Wesley is the ruthless crime boss who dominates the town of Jasper through fear, corruption, and violence. Arrogant and sadistic, he thrives on control, flaunting his wealth and power while crushing anyone who defies him. His cruelty peaks in his vendetta against Dalton, leading to the murder of Wade Garrett and escalating the conflict into a brutal war. Wesley meets his end in a climactic showdown at his mansion, where Dalton and the townspeople unite against his tyranny, his death symbolizing the community's liberation from fear. Off-screen, Ben Gazzara was an acclaimed actor known for his collaborations with director John Cassavetes in films like Husbands 1970 and The Killing of a Chinese Bookie 1976, as well as memorable roles in Anatomy of a Murder 1959 and Buffalo 66 1998. His intense screen presence and versatility earned him international respect across film, stage, and television. He was married 3 times and had 1 daughter. Ben Gazzara died on February 3, 2012 from pancreatic cancer, and he was 81 years old at the time of his passing. Sam Elliott portrayed Wade Garrett in Roadhouse 1980 at the age of 44. Wade is Dalton's legendary mentor and close friend, embodying the rugged, weary wisdom of a man who has spent decades in violent bars and backrooms. He is loyal, brave, and quick, with a dry wit offering both guidance and backup to Dalton. Despite his world-weary demeanor, Wade still radiates charisma and toughness, showing the path Dalton could follow if he remains tied to violence. In one of the film's most tragic moments, Wade is brutally murdered by Wesley's men, an act that not only devastates Dalton but also ignites his final battle. Wade's death carries immense symbolic weight, marking the loss of an old guard and pushing Dalton into decisive action. Beyond this role, Sam Elliott has become one of Hollywood's most recognizable figures, known for his deep voice, Western persona, and commanding presence in films such as Tombstone, 1993, The Big Lebowski 1998, and A Star is Born 2018, which earned him an Academy Award nomination. Married to actress Catherine Ross since 1984, they share 1 daughter, Cleo Rose Elliott. With a career spanning over 5 decades, Elliott remains an enduring figure of American cinema. As of 2025, Sam Elliott is 81 years old. Julie Michaels portrayed Denise in Roadhouse 1989 at the age of 19. Denise is introduced as Brad Wesley's abused girlfriend, a character caught between the allure of his wealth and the reality of his cruelty. Her vulnerability is exposed when she shows up at the Double Deuce battered, sparking anger and sympathy from Dalton and his crew. Yet Denise is also complex, at times complicit in Wesley's decadence, but ultimately a victim of his toxic dominance. She represents both the cost of Wesley's power and the silent suffering hidden behind his flashy lifestyle. Off-screen, Julie Michaels transitioned from acting to a highly respected career as a stuntwoman and stunt coordinator, earning acclaim for her physicality and courage. She appeared in films such as Point Break 1991, where she played Keanu Reeves' girlfriend in the opening, and contributed stunt work to countless productions across Hollywood. Michaels has been recognized with several stunt industry awards and remains a role model for women in action cinema. Married to stuntman and coordinator Pee Wee Monte, the two have built a strong partnership, both personally and professionally. As of 2025, Julie Michaels is 55 years old. Kevin Tighe portrayed Frank Tillman in Roadhouse 1989 at the age of 45. Tillman is the owner of the Double Deuce, a bar overrun by chaos and violence before Dalton arrives. Though he has good intentions, Tillman is initially timid and unable to control the corruption plaguing his establishment. By hiring Dalton, he sets the story in motion, and while not a man of action himself, Tillman represents the hopeful side of Jasper's citizens who long for change but lack the power to achieve it alone. His role underscores the importance of Dalton's mission and the bar's transformation from a den of lawlessness into a respectable business. Beyond the film, Kevin Tighe built a long and diverse acting career. He rose to fame in the 1970s as paramedic Roy DeSoto on the hit television series Emergency, a role that made him a familiar face to millions. Later, he took on darker, more complex roles in films like What's Eating Gilbert Grape 90 Jade Not Even Mumford 99. On television, he appeared in Lost Freaks and Geeks and Complications. Married to Rebecca Fletcher Teague, has balanced steady work across stage film and TV for decades. As of 2025, Kevin Teague is 81 years old. 1. John Doe portrayed Pat McGurn in Roadhouse 1989 at the age of 36. Pat is one of Brad Wesley's corrupt cronies, working at the Double Deuce and serving as a constant thorn in Dalton's side. Arrogant and lazy, he represents the rot festering in the bar before Dalton's arrival. Pat's role, though secondary, illustrates how deeply Wesley's influence has infected even local businesses and workers, turning ordinary establishments into dens of crime. His dismissal by Dalton during the bar's cleanup effort demonstrates the film's theme of renewal, removing corruption to make way for integrity. Outside of the movie, John Doe is far more than an actor. He is best known as the co-founder and bassist of the influential punk band X, a cornerstone of Los Angeles' music scene in the late 1970s and 1980s. Alongside his music, Doe has built a steady acting career, appearing in films like Great Balls of Fire, 1989, and Boogie Nights 1997, as well as in series such as Roswell and Law & Order Special Victims Unit. He has released multiple solo albums and published poetry and essays, establishing himself as a true multi-hyphenate artist. As of 2025, John Doe is 72 years old. Jeff Healey portrayed Cody in Roadhouse 1989 at the age of 23. Cody is the blind guitarist who provides the Double Deuce with its raw, blues-driven soundtrack, while also serving as Dalton's loyal friend and confidant. More than background entertainment, Cody grounds the film in authenticity, his music reflecting both the grit and soul of the story. Despite his disability, he is independent, charismatic, and resilient, proving that strength takes many forms. His calm presence and artistry remind viewers that even in the middle of chaos, beauty and creativity can flourish. Off-screen. Jeff Healey was a Canadian blues and jazz virtuoso who overcame blindness caused by retinoblastoma, a rare eye cancer he developed in infancy. Forming the Jeff Healey Band, he rose to international fame with hits like Angel Eyes and See the Light, collaborating with legends such as Eric Clapton and B.B. King. He received Grammy nominations and left behind a rich musical legacy spanning blues, rock, and jazz. In his personal life, he was married twice and father to 2 children. Tragically, Healey died on March 2, 2008 at the age of 41 after battling sarcoma, a rare form of cancer that spread to his lungs. His death was a profound loss to the music world, cutting short a career defined by brilliance, perseverance, and soul. Kathleen Wilhoite portrayed Carrie in Roadhouse 1989 at the age of 25. Carrie is a spirited waitress at the Double Deuce, caught in the whirlwind of fights, chaos, and transformation that Dalton brings. While her role is modest, she injects humor and warmth into the bar's environment, serving as a reminder of the hard-working locals who are directly impacted by Wesley's reign. Carrie's interactions with both patrons and Dalton highlight the sense of community that slowly returns to Jasper as the tide begins to turn. Off-screen, Kathleen Wilhoite has built a prolific career as a character actress and singer-songwriter. She is known for memorable roles in Murphy's Law, 1986 Erin Brockovich 2000, and recurring television appearances on Gilmore Girls ER and Californication. Her versatility has made her a familiar presence across film and TV, while she has also pursued a career in music, releasing albums that showcase her distinctive voice. Married to producer David Hart, she is also a mother, balancing family with an ongoing career in the arts. As of 2025, Kathleen Wilhoite is 61 years old. Keith David portrayed Ernie Bass in Roadhouse 1989 at the age of 33. Ernie is introduced as one of the bartenders at the Double Deuce, a figure caught in the middle of the chaos that consumes the establishment before Dalton takes over. Though not as combative as the bouncers or as corrupt as Wesley's enforcers, Ernie reflects the ordinary working-class people whose livelihoods depend on the bar's survival. His loyalty and professionalism highlight the fact that many employees simply want a stable job in a place free from violence, making him an understated symbol of the town's decency. Keith David's natural authority and charisma add weight even to a smaller role, reinforcing the realism of the Double Deuce as a workplace rather than just a battleground. Beyond the film, David forged an extraordinary career as one of Hollywood's most recognizable voices and versatile performers. He played key roles in The Thing, 1982, Platoon 1986, and They Live 1988 films that remain cult classics. His deep, commanding baritone led to iconic voice work, including narrations that earned him Emmy Awards, the role of Goliath in Gargoyles and Dr. Facilier in Disney's The Princess and the Frog, 2009. He also excelled on stage and television, making him one of the most enduring character actors of his generation. Married with children, Keith David continues to balance a prolific acting career with his family life. As of 2025, Keith David is 69 years old. Patricia Tallman portrayed Bandstand Babe in Roadhouse 1989 at the age of 31. Though her appearance was brief and uncredited, she contributed to the energy of the Double Deuce's lively nightlife, representing the kind of regular patron whose presence gave the bar a sense of authenticity. In the film's world of chaos and transformation, small roles like hers remind viewers that this is not just a place of conflict, but also a social hub where ordinary people dance, drink, and live their lives. Outside of Roadhouse, Patricia Tallman carved out a distinctive dual career as both an actress and stuntwoman. She is best remembered by horror fans for playing Barbara in Tom Savini's remake of Night of the Living Dead 1990, where she transformed the character into a far stronger and more resourceful survivor than in the original. She became a cult favorite for her portrayal of Lyda Alexander in Babylon 5, a series that expanded her fan base. Tallman also worked extensively as a stunt performer, contributing to blockbusters like Jurassic Park 1993 and several Star Trek films and shows, where she doubled for lead actresses. Outside of acting, she founded Be a Santa, a charity that provides gifts and support to children in need, reflecting her compassion off-screen. Still active in fan conventions and charity work, Patricia Tallman remains respected both as an actress and humanitarian. As of 2025, Patricia Tallman is 68 years old. Travis McKenna portrayed Jack in Roadhouse 1989 at the age of 29. Jack is one of Dalton's fellow bouncers at the Double Deuce, a big-hearted and physically imposing figure who helps bring order once Dalton begins to reshape the bar. Though not a central character, Jack adds camaraderie and comic relief to the rough environment, showing loyalty and humor in tense moments. His presence underscores Dalton's role as a mentor, proving that even rough-and-tumble men can be trained to maintain discipline rather than chaos. Outside the film, Travis McKenna built a career as a character actor, often playing jovial, heavy-set men with charm and comedic timing. His credits include appearances in Twins 1988, Everybody Loves Raymond, and Just the Ten of Us. While never a leading star, his screen presence provided warmth and levity in many productions. Details of his private life remain largely outside the public eye, as McKenna has maintained a relatively low profile compared to some of his Roadhouse co-stars. As of 2025, Travis McKenna is 65 years old. 65. Terry Funk portrayed Morgan in Roadhouse 1989 at the age of 45. Morgan is one of Brad Wesley's most violent henchmen, serving as the Double Deuce's corrupt bouncer before Dalton takes control. Brash, intimidating, and quick to fight, Morgan epitomizes the chaos that Dalton must clean up, and his clashes with Dalton provide some of the film's most physical and memorable brawls. Though not the chief villain, Morgan's brute strength and unrestrained aggression make him a constant threat and one of Wesley's most loyal enforcers. Outside of the film, Terry Funk was a legendary professional wrestler, regarded as one of the most influential figures in the sport. Known for his hardcore style, he wrestled around the world in promotions like NWA, WCW, ECW, and WWE, earning a reputation for toughness, longevity, and innovation. His acting career also included appearances in Over the Top 1987 and various TV projects. Married to Vicki Ann Funk from 1965 until his death, the two shared a lifelong partnership and raised 2 daughters. Terry Funk passed away on August 23, 2023 at the age of 79 after years of declining health related to dementia and other complications. His death marked the end of an era in professional wrestling and left behind a legacy of grit, passion, and resilience. Gary Hudson portrayed Steve in Roadhouse 1989 at the age of 29. Steve is another of the rowdy bouncers at the Double Deuce, but unlike Jack, he is corrupt, disloyal, and heavily influenced by Brad Wesley's power. His arrogance and disrespect represent the decay within the bar before Dalton's reforms. Ultimately, Steve is fired by Dalton in a humiliating fashion, his dismissal symbolizing the removal of Wesley's toxic influence from the Double Deuce. Outside the movie, Gary Hudson is a Canadian actor with a long and steady career in both film and television. He appeared in projects such as Cold Case Smallville and Wild Roses, while also performing in numerous TV movies. His versatility has kept him active for decades across American and Canadian productions. Personal details about his private life are less widely publicized, but his body of work speaks to a consistent and dedicated career. As of 2025, Gary Hudson is 66 years old. Joe Unger portrayed Karpus in Roadhouse 1989 at the age of 40. As one of Brad Wesley's henchmen, Karpus embodies the menace and corruption that dominate the town of Jasper. Though not a central figure like Jimmy or Morgan, he contributes to the constant sense of intimidation surrounding Wesley's crew. His presence in key barroom scenes underscores the danger Dalton faces not only from Wesley, but from a network of thugs willing to enforce his will. Unger's rugged screen presence made him ideal for this type of role, and his performance helped fill out the gritty realism of Wesley's criminal empire. Beyond Roadhouse, Joe Unger built a steady career as a character actor, often cast in horror and action films. He had a notable role as Sergeant Garcia in A Nightmare on Elm Street 1984, and appeared in Mask 1985 Barfly, 1987 Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 1990, and Total Recall 1990. His gravelly voice and intense demeanor allowed him to portray authority figures as well as criminals, making him versatile in darker genres. While his private life has remained largely out of the public eye, his consistent body of work has made him recognizable to genre fans. His performances across several decades reflect his dedication to his craft. As of 2025, Joe Unger is 76 years old. Michael Ryder portrayed O'Connor in Roadhouse 1989 at the age of 37. O'Connor is one of Brad Wesley's local enforcers, a man who uses intimidation to maintain control over Jasper. While not as physically menacing as Jimmy or Morgan, he plays a key role in showing how Wesley's power relies on a network of corrupt subordinates who are willing to carry out his orders without question. His clashes with Dalton emphasize the difficulty of restoring order in a town where even ordinary men are corrupted by Wesley's influence. Michael Ryder's performance gave O'Connor the right mix of sleaze and menace, helping make Wesley's empire feel pervasive. Off-screen, Ryder built a modest career as a supporting actor across film and television. His credits include appearances in Beverly Hills Cop 2 1987, Lethal Weapon 2 1989, and numerous television guest roles, often playing policemen, detectives, or tough characters. Though never a household name, Ryder's work added realism and grit to the action films of the 1980s and 90s. His private life has remained mostly out of the spotlight, reflecting his preference to keep fame at arm's length. As of 2025, Michael Ryder is 73 years old. Who is your favorite character from Roadhouse? How do you feel knowing that some cast members are no longer with us? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy this type of content, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications to stay updated. We appreciate your support and are glad to have you as part of our community.